The following program is rated PG. Hi everyone! This is a new year and it's a new start for favorite online talk show. My name is Don Holiday and this is CETV Exclusives! Today, we are back in the new year, and today's my first show of being 27, so belated happy birthday to myself! Woo! So, before we dive in, we're going to introduce you to someone new that you might recognize, but he is a not French Canadian. He's from Montreal, and he's a Filipino-Canadian artist, and he's pretty much what you're going to watch out for in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kaz Montano!
Hey, it's a pleasure to be here.
Hey, it's a pleasure to have you here. And first of all, are you even related to Cesar Montano, a very famous actor?
You know, I've heard his name before. I hope so. I really hope so. I don't know.
Are you going to take the DNA test?
Hopefully.
We're gonna go. I hope we're gonna talk to Montreal on this one. Anyway, we all know. No, he's from Montreal. For the benefit of our viewers, he's from Montreal, and Montreal is in the province of Quebec, correct?
Yeah.
It is famous for its rich culture, from its delicious poutine to those lovely winter festivals. If you could bring one aspect of Quebec culture to our country, what would it be?
Definitely. It would have to be poutine. I mean, come on. And maple syrup. Maple syrup as well. We have this thing where it snows here. So we have this thing called it's kind of like taffy, like maple syrup candy. And it's like we take the maple syrup and we put it on the snow and we roll it up in a stick, and it's really good. I think the whole world should experience that. Super good.
Very interesting. And I know we don't have winter here in the Philippines because there's no snow, and it's full of snow. It's full of storms, but with rain. I don't want to be. Yeah. But on the flip side, however, what's one thing from Filipino culture that you think those people from Quebec or the Quebecers would like to see or absolutely love?
I would say just the niceness of Filipinos, and like there's so like a karaoke. I feel like not a lot of people do karaoke here, and that needs to be implemented more in the culture here. People just need to know how they need to know how to have fun here. Like
yes, especially when we talk about big karaoke. Please don't sing My Way. We do not want to hear any shootings if the song My Way is sung very badly. We do not want that. Especially in Quebec. I know My Way is a great song and all, but here in this country, oh my goodness. All I can say is good luck trying if you sing very badly.
Yeah.
Hope nobody gets killed. Anywho, Quebec and the Philippines are so different in terms of climate and tradition. So, if there's the biggest cultural contrast you've experienced between the two countries, the two things, two provinces, they just change geography technically, but what's the biggest cultural contrast you've experienced between the two?
I would say obviously the food. Food is super different. I'd say it's the personality. It's just like people here and the Filipinos that I meet that come from the Philippines that are here now. It's a different vibe. It's hard to explain, but it's more of a feeling thing. Like I feel super comfortable talking to Filipinos. Especially the people I grew up with too, that are Filipino. I guess it's an inner thing. Yeah, I would say like a personality mostly.
So that what makes the contrast between the two different. So I think we should get started now with what we're going to talk about. So, you have been creating music since you were very young, even co-founding an independent label at just 18. Wow, he's only 18! How did growing up in Montreal and your time in church bands shape your unique sound?
Oh, it was definitely a time. I guess I'm 25 now. I started singing at the age of say like 8, 9 years old. They have a lot of Filipino churches here in Montreal, so I would attend all these different churches, and I would just jump from church to church, and I would learn how to play like the instruments over there. I'd join like the choir. I went to a couple summer camps. Yeah, I do feel like that really helped shape who I am today, especially like music wise. I learned how to play all my instruments. I got close to God, and yeah, it's a good time.
And speaking of instruments, what instruments did you learn at the time?
So I started with the guitar. I play the guitar. I have it right here. I play the guitar. I play the keys, and I dangle in the drums a bit.
Do you even try playing the drums?
Yeah, I'm not the best, but you know,
You could learn from my uncle in the Philippines.
I would love that.
He's good.
I would love that.
All right, so you have heard that you have a new single that is released last year. It's called Second Place, and it's been gaining traction recently. So, what is the inspiration behind the story of this track, and how does it reflect your journey as an artist?
So second place talks about coming in, being a second option to someone that you have a love interest with. And I feel like it's super relatable because I feel like a lot of people go through that. A lot of people are that second option. So I've been there. Like I can't lie, I've been there, and I know a lot of other people can relate. And honestly, like I want to make music that resonates with people. So I know like a lot of people have been through that experience and made a song about it.
Indeed, a lot of people can experience being second place. We
Yeah.
all been, as they say in one of my personal sayings here, always the beta, but never the first.
I like that. That's good.
Well, it's based from that show, from that variety show here in this country. You know what I'm talking about. You don't know what I'm talking about, but it's different culture, Bulaga and all that. Sorry, TVJ. Anywho, balancing music production, performing, and a full-time job is no small feat. How do you manage it all while staying true to your creative vision?
It's tough, man. It's really tough, especially things are really expensive here, and just living and trying to survive. But I work in the restaurant business. I work as a part-time line cook. I mean full-time line cook, sorry. Um I don't know, like after work I try my best to, obviously I'm super tired, but I do have a home studio. So I come back home and uh I work my ass off.
So, with all your experience in producing and performing, what's the favorite part of the creative process and why?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say everything on the production side of it. I like to get really technical with my work. So yeah, and just honestly like making music and finding the feeling of what I'm making and translating that and just making something super relatable, that's true to myself. I feel like that's really important because people can tell when you're not being true to yourself, especially when it comes to music or even just, being on camera. So, yeah, I would say just staying true to myself and the little technical aspects of music production. I really fell in love with that.
And we fell in love with what you do, and I've heard, but based on what I'm seeing, that TikTok has been a significant platform for you, particularly with those live sessions. Now, how has this engagement shaped your connection with your fans?
Yeah, so that's a funny story. So during COVID, at least here in Canada, everyone was on lockdown. So no one was allowed to go outside and everyone was stuck inside. And I was building my studio at the time. So at that time, I didn't have like much gear, but I made music with what I had. And while I was doing that, I would go live on TikTok a lot and I would preview a lot of unreleased music. And eventually, like it got traction. So like people would call me back, people would like message me, come back on live, come back on live. So I'd do the lives and I'd talk to people. They would tell me their problems and they tell me their issues, certain relationship issues. I'd try to make a song out of that too. I take inspiration from anywhere, to be honest. And yeah, I feel like I've built a pretty good following on there. Shout out to TikTok. TikTok's.
We've heard that you're bilingual in French and English, so I'm gonna add. So, s'il vous plaît, does your music reflect this cultural duality, and how do you think it resonates with your audience? But before you answer that, I want to emphasize that I'm not really good French speaker. All I know are just some numbers and the words "grolo," "la polozador," and all those other things. S'il vous plaît.
I would say doesn't have a big impact on me, even just living here. But it's a weird thing to say, but even just like the cold, like it's super cold here, and that just like I don't know if it's just me, but being in the cold puts me in my feelings a lot. Like it makes me really moody, and that inspires me a lot for some reason. Being in dark coldness, making love songs in the dark, in the cold.
Oh, that would be a good concept.
Yeah.
I bet. I'm talking to those P-pop artists or anyone who can collab with Kaz right there. In case you just joined us, I'm here with Kaz Montano, who has no blood to Cesar Montano, a very famous actor. And now we heard that we are looking ahead to something new called Royal Rhapsody Part 2 in 2025. What can you expect? What can fans expect, rather, from your performance, and how does it differ from your past shows?
People should expect coming to our future events. Typically, what we do is we give other artists, other local artists, the opportunity to shine, to perform in front of a large crowd, and we just feel like people deserve to be heard. So we give them that platform, and we we bring everyone's fans together to experience this giant artist showcase, and it's super cool. You get to network, you get to
Mm.
meet different people. It's a super unique event, and I encourage everyone to check it out, to be honest.
Yes, especially to those in Canada.
Yeah,
Especially, do you have plans to expand to other cities and provinces in Canada
yeah,
as well too?
it's definitely in the talks. Yeah, we're planning on expanding, at least maybe doing like a little Canadian tour. See how that goes first.
And if you go to the Philippines, please
I would
visit our country.
I would love to. I would love to. That's definitely on the bucket list.
Yes, indeed. What part of the Philippines do you come from? Which part before you moved to Montreal?
So initially, I was born in Montreal, but my parents are from Pangasinan, specifically in
Ah, Pangasinan.
I believe it's called Manawag. But yeah, in Pangasinan.
Very.
I
Is it
never
near the 100 Islands?
I do not know the answer to that question because I never been there. But I'd love to visit there one day, and that's on my bucket list as well. My mom has been dying to bring me there, to introduce me to family over there. So yeah,
Ah, so your parents are
yeah,
Filipino and Canadian, no one, but they are in Montreal, and I bet there are a lot of things that influenced you to manifest in your music. So, like you mentioned, artists like Justin Bieber and Chris Brown as your early inspirations.
yeah.
So, given their influence, how do they manifest in your music today?
At a young age, I'd always be on YouTube. YouTube just came out, and I was about like 9, 10 years old, and I used to watch a lot of the up and coming Justin Bieber stuff when Justin Bieber wasn't famous, and I'd see his cover videos, and I seen what he did, and I fell in love with his voice, obviously, and it wasn't until seeing Justin Bieber do it that I started singing. I seen him do it, and I did it too, and I guess it worked out for me. Justin Bieber, Chris Brown, all of these dudes, they definitely shaped who I am today, musically.
And I just bet that listening to Baby, 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 oh, many, many times would have helped you shape where you are today. Look at that.
Oh yeah,
It pays to be a fan first before becoming a, before becoming one of the successful artists of today.
yeah.
So speaking of young artists, I want to ask this. What's one piece of advice you give to young artists to break into the industry while juggling other responsibilities?
Mm, I wouldn't say. I would say to not put all your eggs in one basket. Don't like quit your job just to do what you love. Try to work so you can invest in what you love to do. You know. To break into industry, I would say to develop yourself as an artist. Find out your message. What do you want to tell everyone in your music? And just be yourself, be unique. Because like I said before, people could sense when you're not being you, and I feel like that plays a big part in everything. No, I was just saying being genuine definitely is a big factor.
Yes, you have to stay true to yourself,
Yeah,
and you don't really need to be copycat other people. You just be yourself because you are your own unique self. The person above you, I mean, the creator above created you in his in his image,
yeah,
and pretty much you can simply say that all everything is a learning process. And that's my piece of advice I can give to all my people who are watching us right now. So you have your own independent label called King Block Entertainment.
amen.
Now, let me first of all ask, why King Block Entertainment?
So King Block comes from the place I grew up in. It's called Kingsley, and me and the guys we wanted to make Kingsley sound cooler, so like we used to just call like the street King Block. And it started off with just like me and a group of friends, like we just called each other, oh, it's the King Block Boys. Um, Eventually, like I started doing music, and we wanted to flip it and go from the King Block Boys to King Block Entertainment. And that's when we started throwing these showcases, giving other artists these opportunities because we all specialize in something different. So we have my boy Sky. My boy Sky, he specializes in the management side of everything. He went to private school, so he's really sharp in his head. He keeps everything organized, and he knows what he's doing. We have me, who's the vocalist. We have my boy Shy Dummy. His real name is Juan, but we call him Shy Dummy. He's another great artist. You guys should check him out. And we have our main sound engineer, who goes by the name of JM Biz, but his real name is Joseph. And he's the one who actually inspired me to get, super technical with my work when it comes to like the mixing, the mastering, and everything in production. So I got to give my flowers to, you guys. Love you guys.
Yes, very good indeed. And I want to add this question to this. With so much going on in the world, we've heard already. When we air this, it's going to be way past what happened. So before we go on, I just want to make a plea to the leaders of our country, not just the Philippines, but to the Canadian leaders as well. So please find someone who's competent, and please, I just hope that we choose the right leaders of our country. It's election season now in this
Yeah,
country. I don't know about you guys over there, but
same here. Same
please
here.
choose the right leaders. I'm begging you, please.
Yeah. All we can do is hope.
Yeah, we hope so. And the hope that Jose Rizal, that the youth is the hope of the motherland, is still alive. Like you guys over there, and even though we are from different countries, Rizal still thinks that the youth is still the hope of the motherland. And I just have to admit it now. You're pretty dang cool when you talk about poutine. So before we let you go, I want to ask this. Where can you find the best poutine in Canada? Not just in Canada, but maybe possibly the whole world. Where do you think is the best poutine out there?
Whoo, that's a great question. You know, I've had a long time to think about this, and I've tried a bunch of different places, but I would have to say there's this one place called La Banquise. La Banquise, search it up on Google. They have the original, just the best poutine you can try. It first experience poutine, it has to be from La Banquise.
Sabong Keys, okay.
Yeah.
Ang bongga naman.
I don't know what it means. I speak French. I don't even know.
Bongga, in case you're wondering, it's like extravagant or something.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
the ones go, Bongga Kaday!
I love it.
Yeah, it's Filipino slang 101 here on CETV Exclusives. Anyways, merci beaucoup, as they say in French,
Hey,
for
thank you so
joining
much.
us today. And thank you for joining this wonderful interview. And I will definitely try the place that you mentioned. It's so cool. I heard, I will look it up. And if I go to Canada, that's one of the first things I will do. Yes, and I did mention to your manager about this. I think we'll talk about it off air because the people here in the Philippines may not understand what we're going to talk about. So thank you very much to Kaz Montano for joining us today on CETV Exclusives. We had a great time talking to him. I
Thanks for
learned
having
so
me.
much about Quebec culture and how is it different to our. And I can say it once again that we may be the stars of our show, but we're never. We may be the stars or be in this country, but we're never the first. So we're always second, and I hope we can change our perception of what we
Second
see
place.
about Canada. And please stream second place on all digital streaming platforms. We hope and request it on radio as well too. All right, Dom Holiday, once again, thank you, Kaz Montano.
Thank
And
you.
we're gonna talk about that DNA test after the show, okay? All right. This has been CTV Exclusives. My name's Dom Holiday, and thank you for watching. It's good to be back. Have a good night, a good day, everyone.
There's more to see. Click the video on the right or click the subscribe button for more of your favorite CTV content. Don't forget to follow us on our socials at CTV Philippines.